The story begins when the protagonist of the story tells us that in my previous life, I was a rescue team member and died in an accident. After death, I transmigrated to this fantasy world with mutated beasts and awakened. In this life, I have also awakened a power named contract gem, which can consume physical and mental energy to condense a contract gem. Once the target voluntarily accepts the gem, their life, soul, and consciousness will be dominated by the summoner. This should have been a powerful ability, but it has a very obvious drawback. While he is looking at the contact gem, suddenly a girl comes there and asks him, Zhang Ping, "What are you doing?" Then he replies, "Nothing, Su Jingyao," and asks her, "Do you want to eat candy?" After listening to him, she replies, "Get lost," and asks him who wants to be controlled by you. Then he replies, "Just kidding," and lies down on the stairs and thinks the drawback is that the creature must be fully informed and voluntarily sign a contract with me. Otherwise, even if they eat the gem, nothing will happen. The original owner nearly died of anger because this ability was so useless. Fortunately, I transmigrated and, relying on my psychological resilience from my previous life, kept this body alive. After that, she suddenly shakes his head and tells him that don't give up so early. The world is so big. There will definitely be creatures willing to let you control them. Then he asks her, "Easy for you to say. Besides myself, who else would be willing?" After saying that, suddenly he thinks, "Wait, myself?" and says, "Yeah, why didn't I think of this before?" After saying that, he takes out the contract gem and bites it. While looking at this, Su Jingyao asks him, "Hey, what are you doing?" After that, suddenly a green light like a wind starts surrounding him. Meanwhile, looking at this, Su Jingyao asks him, "Are you all right?" Then he replies, "Yeah." After that, she breathes out and tells him that don't do that again. That was really scary. Then she stands up, and while leaving she tells him that it's getting late. Time to go back to the dormitory. I have to report to the patrol team tomorrow morning, so you don't need to wait for me. After listening to her, he asks her, "Are you really graduating?" Then while leaving she replies, "Yeah, I've mastered all the book knowledge. From now on, only real combat can further improve me." After listening to her, Zhang Ping thinks true. Joining the patrol team to protect our homeland has always been her dream. And now she finally has a chance to achieve it. Then she suddenly turns around and tells him that don't be disheartened when you become stronger. We might work together. After listening to her, he laughs and tells her that because of my useless ability, I was assigned the farmer profession by the school. Forget it, I'll just go to the countryside and farm. After saying that he thinks that said, it will probably be hard to see each other again. Although she was the original owner's childhood friend, I'm still reluctant to part with her like this. I really want to give her a hug. After thinking that, he suddenly hugs her, and while hugging her, he thinks, "Why is my body moving on its own?" Then both of them get embarrassed, and she runs away from there. While looking at her leave, Zhang Ping tells her to take care on the way. After that, both of them looked into each other's eyes. And while looking at her, Zhang Ping thinks, "Speaking of just now, my body hugged her on its own. Did I subconsciously command myself? Or was it a coincidence? I need to confirm the extent to which I can control it." After that, he tells his body to take off. But he falls down, and while lying down, he thinks, "I can't take it anymore. What I can confirm now is that I can make my body perform almost any action. But it must not go beyond the scope of what a normal person can do, like flying or transforming into another species. Moreover, some actions that I haven't practiced before can be imitated based on memory. So theoretically, as long as my physical abilities meet the standards, I can master various martial arts effortlessly. As long as I find a way to improve my physical fitness, I can become stronger. But now there's still one more question to verify. Later, next he opens his eyes and thinks, "Where is this? The cafeteria? My legs are so sore. Right, I ordered myself to run in the morning before I slept. Did my body go for a morning run while I was asleep? Great, my hypothesis from yesterday was correct. My body can execute commands even when my brain is unconscious. No one should notice me. After that, suddenly a girl comes there, and while looking at her he thinks, Luo Shiyu, I remember her being the school beauty. Does she usually get up this early? After that, suddenly he listens to something and thinks, what's that noise? Then suddenly he starts seeing weird things, after which he thinks, holy crap, what is that? Can't everyone else see this? That is not Luo Shiyu. After that he sees that Luo Shiyu changed into a monster, and she is asking her that you don't look too well. Classmate Zhang Ping. Then he looks around and sees a big monster who is asking him, are you sick? After that he listens to the voice inside him which is telling him to calm down. After that he replies to her, I'm fine, and tells her that I just had a nightmare last night, so I didn't sleep well. Right, I still have class later. I've got to go. After saying all that he leaves. Then while looking at him she thinks the smell of fear. Was I mistaken? After that, while walking in the school's corridor, Zhang Ping thinks, why are there mutated beasts in the school? Has no one noticed them? Are my eyes going bad? I have to hurry and report this to a teacher. After that he looks inside the room and sees a monster eating a girl. Meanwhile, later, he sits on the bench and gets shocked about all those things which he saw in the school. And while sitting on the bench, he thinks, is this place hell on earth? Then he again takes out the contract gem and thinks, speaking of which, I could only see the mutated beasts after I ate this thing. No matter what, please let me return to normal. After thinking all that, he bites the gem again to make it reverse. But suddenly something weird happens which makes him scared. He again sees a monster eating someone. After seeing the notification of appraisal, he thinks, did I awaken an appraisal spell? Then he looks at his hand and thinks, this really is contract gems have levels. What does effect already activated mean? This new talent came inexplicably. Could it be related to me eating a gem again? Meanwhile, later, while sitting in the class, he thinks, let me analyze the current situation. First, I have become my own summoned beast and contractor. Second, I am only controlled by the contractor myself, and my body and mind won't be interfered with the outside world. Third, because of the second point, any spell is ineffective against me. Thus, I can see the mutated beasts' true bodies. Fourth, these mutated beasts are all heavenly normal foxes with high levels. I'm only level 1 right now, not their opponent at all. Fifth, by relying on cognitive distortion, this heaven-defying skill, even if these heavenly normal foxes eat people out in the open, others can only see two students normally chatting with each other. That's why others can't notice anything wrong, since it's a mental control type ability. I remember that Su Jingyao's ability is also a mental type. She might have a way. After that, later, while walking at the streets, he looks at the people and thinks, to think they are also outside the school. Just how many of them are there? After that, he goes inside the patrol team headquarters, inside which a receptionist asks him, hello, what do you need? Then he replies, I'm here to find someone, Su Jingyao. She probably checked in today. After that, she tells him, all right, please wait. Meanwhile, later, sitting at the waiting area, he thinks there are also natural order foxes in the patrol team. Even high-level awakened can't see through their illusion. After that, suddenly Su Jingyao comes there and asks him, hey, what are you doing here? Then he replies, I was just a bit worried that you won't adapt well, so I came to see you. After that, she replies, it's fine, and tells him, let me introduce them to you. These are my teammates. Everyone takes good care of me. Then he looks at them and says, is that so? That's great. After that, she tells him that from today onwards, I will work hard to become strong. In the future, I will go out to fight mutated beasts and avenge my parents. Right, we're still short of people right now. Want me to recommend you to the patrol team? After listening to her, he replies, no need. My ability won't help much. I'm more suitable for farming. After that, while leaving, he tells her that since you look like you're adapting well, I won't bother you anymore. Then he thinks goodbye Su Jingyao and leaves everyone there because all of them were mutated beasts. Then after coming out from the patrol team headquarters, he thinks, what kind of joke is this? Didn't they say the patrol team is the strongest in Pearl City? Why have they been completely annihilated? Su Jingyao only came here today. Yet she also looks like the natural order foxes didn't only infiltrate the school, but the entire city. Everyone in Pearl City is their livestock. I managed to find something through the appraisal technique. First, most of the natural order foxes are between the intermediate and high levels. But a patrol team with a large amount of high-level awakened is no match for them. Second, the one that killed Luo Shi is really strong. My instincts are telling me that the moment I use the appraisal technique on it, it will be able to pinpoint my location. So it might be an advanced level awakened, or maybe even a king level. Level 40 and above are king level. It must be the reason why the natural order foxes were able to defeat awakened that are at a much higher level than them. Third, unlike ordinary mutated beasts, natural order foxes have a really high intelligence, and they excel in disguising themselves, which allows them to blend within humans and live among us. But that is all just on the surface. Fourth, they will always prioritize targets with a much higher strength or targets with a high social status. And the remaining ones will just be a backup food source for them. It is basically a death sentence to fight against a natural order fox head-on. But I can't just sit here and watch the innocent citizens die as well. If only I can become stronger. Then a week later. After waking up early at 3:54 a.m., he thinks I've been waking up much earlier recently. It seems like the stronger my physique is, the shorter the amount of time I need to rest. I've been training my body for the past few days, and I've managed to increase by 1 level. Other than training, I will also try to generate and consume gems every day as well, hoping that I will be able to obtain strength or talents like before. But ever since I obtained the appraisal technique, the gems that I've generated have become colorless, and there's no effect after consuming them. Today I finally got a color, but this color really makes me lose my appetite just from looking at it. I just hope that there's some sort of effect this time. This feeling as expected, I've awakened a new talent. I will be able to go out and investigate during nighttime from now on. And the contract gem ability has leveled up as well. Is it related to my own level? There's no time to waste. I'll go training right away. I can give the new talent a try as well. After that, while running outside, he thinks it seems like my vision is much better now compared to daytime. Then suddenly he sees something on the roadside. After that he picks it up and says it's a ring. After that his level appraises and suddenly he notices something and he thinks it's the natural order fox Lu Xiu. As for the other one, is he the owner of the ring? But the Luo Xiu that he knew must have been a human. Is he one of Luo Xiu's rivals? No, impossible. Luo Xiu is an orphan, and there's no way she would make enemies with that personality of hers. Then there's only one possibility left other than me. There's someone else in Pearl City fighting against these monsters as well. After that he listens to the mutated beast saying that the ring is gone. Someone was definitely here. There's no presence. How is that possible? If they were able to get away from me, then they must be an awakened at the intermediate level or higher. I will have to inform His Royal Highness. After listening to him, Zhang Ping thinks I see did they leave the ring there on purpose. It might be even more suspicious if I put it back. I guess I will keep it for now. Meanwhile, later at morning 05:36 am. While looking at the ring, he thinks the sun wasn't up just now, so the effect from Nightwalker and the assassination ring completely covered up my presence. Not only can I increase my strength on my own, but I can rely on equipment as well. Then he thinks, who goes there? Who is that talking? After that a soul-like entity comes in front of him and tells him that, hide, they are here already. Then he suddenly goes towards bed and acts like he is sleeping. Then the beasts come there and ask each other was it him? After that one of the beasts goes to attack him, but suddenly he stops and says not a flicker of emotion. If that useless trash was really the one who ran away, he would have jumped up and fought for his life. I'm not sensing the ring either. After listening to him, the other beast asks him, Your Highness, why not just kill him? And tells him this human he jogs every morning, but not today, something's not right. Then he replies it's not him, and tells him that he's just food with no value. We shouldn't be wasteful with food. After that both of them leave and he wakes up and thinks that was too close. I totally forgot I go jogging every morning. Good thing I ordered myself to sleep and didn't arouse suspicion. Wait, I thought I heard Su Jingyao's voice earlier. Was it just my imagination? Why am I being so sentimental? I need to get strong enough to avenge her. For now, I'll pretend to live normally to avoid arousing suspicion from the celestial foxes. Meanwhile, later in the cafeteria, he listens to the girl saying that, Hey, did you hear? Today, the city guard found a body sliced in half near our academy. And that body belonged to the notorious Black Death Star guy, the top assassin in Pearl City, the one who injured the old city lord. After listening to her, he thinks sliced in half, could it be that person in white? If she took out such an assassin that easily, that means Luo Shiyu's strength is even more terrifying than I thought. But why they're putting the body on display this time? That must be a warning message to anyone working against the celestial foxes. They'll definitely increase their vigilance. I need to find some equipment to protect myself. I'll check out the blacksmith shops after class. Meanwhile, later, while going to the blacksmith shop, he sees the celestial fox there and thinks it seems all the blacksmith shops in the city are controlled by the celestial foxes. After that, suddenly a notification comes in front of him and he thinks intermediate analysis. Now I can see the opponent's growth potential. Then the fox calls him to come in his shop, but he refuses and thinks I need to find a shop that isn't under their thumb. After that he goes to the other shop and listens to the shopkeeper saying this one here is a top quality sword. Iron Soul Blacksmith Shop, look at the craftsmanship, the shine. After that he enters the shop and the shopkeeper tells him that looking at you, it must be tough. If you're willing to buy, I'll give you the lowest price, even if it pains me. After listening to him, the old man asks him, Did you just say my daughter's waiting for me to eat? Then he shouts at the old man and asks him, Are you deaf or something? After that Zhang takes out one of the swords. Then after looking at him, the shopkeeper angrily asks him, Hey brat, how dare you steal my stuff? After that Zhang tells him to hold on, but he grabs the sword from his hand and the sword breaks. Then looking at this, the shopkeeper angrily says, You ruined everything. Do you have any idea who I am? I'm the direct disciple of Master Ma from the Xingyi Martial Arts Academy. Prepare yourself. After saying that he jumps to attack him, but Zhang just slaps him and he falls down. Then Zhang asks him, Is that well? Then he replies, You are fighting dirty. After that, while Zhang turned around suddenly, he came to attack him. And while attacking, he tells Zhang that, Now's my chance, sneak attack. After that, Zhang knocks him down and asks him trying to pull a sneak attack on me, who's fighting dirty now. Then suddenly a girl comes there, and while looking at this, she says, I just stepped away for 5 minutes, and the place became so lively. After that, she asks him that you're getting me out here on your own, or do I need to show you the door? Then, after listening to her, he runs outside the shop. And while looking at this, Zhang says, I better go check other shops. But suddenly she stops him and tells him that you stay, we need to talk. After listening to her, he asks her talk about what? Then she replies, I am just a damsel, working hard every day to survive. I also have to take care of my uncle who became distraught after his daughter went missing. Looking at you, your body is good and your personality isn't bad. How about staying here to become a blacksmith? Take care of old man Liu Taifeng and also look after the store. Of course, food and accommodation is included. There's also a salary. Meanwhile, listening to her, he thinks if I manage to learn forging skills, I can indeed save quite a bit of money on equipment in the future. Moreover, this shop doesn't seem to be under the control of the celestial foxes. All right, am the man who will become the king of blacksmiths. After that, she slaps him and says, "Good kid," as expected from someone I have my eyes on. Then, while lying down, he thinks I should try to survive under her hands first. Meanwhile, a few days later at the shop, she tells Zhang that use a little more strength. Little brother Zhang Ping. Then he asks her sister Chu Qiang, "Is it really okay for us to do this?" After that, she tells him, "Don't worry, no one will come in here." Very good. It doesn't feel too bad. This is our exclusive skill, kneading forging technique. You need to let the different materials fuse together, as if you're kneading dough. Wait here for a moment, I will go to the warehouse to get the mold. The fuel is in the bucket by the side. Do not let the fire die out. After that, he sees the fire and says, "Is this all fuel?" Shit, the fire is about to die. Screw it, let's just put it in. Lastly, throw it into the stove to continue heating it. After that, suddenly a big blast happens there and he thinks, "Am I dead?" Then he sees a weird thing in his chest which is sucking the fire inside. After that, he thinks, "Why is the fire extinguished?" Then, while seeing his analytics, he thinks my growth potential increased again. Taking the previous situation into account, if my guess is right. Awakening a new ability will increase my growth potential. Leveling up an acquired ability, for example. Analysis will use up my growth potential. As long as I continue to awaken new abilities, then my growth potential will be limitless. But I remember that everyone has a limit to their growth potential. Could it be that I am the only one that can awaken multiple abilities? Was it the fire devourer that absorbed the fire just now? Thinking back, I have already reached level 3 this morning and consumed a level 3 gem. Why did the effect only activate in the evening? Does it require some kind of special circumstance or condition? After that, Chu Qing comes there and asks him what happened. How did the house land up in such a situation? Then she says, "Wait, did you throw the scarlet serpent scale into the stove? It will cause an explosion. It's my fault for forgetting to tell you." After that, Zhang says Sister Qiang that the damages to the house. Then she asks him, "What are you saying?" and tells him that it's all good if you are fine. After that, she asks him again but how did you extinguish the fire? A fire that's burning through the scarlet serpent scale isn't that easy to put out. Then he replies, "That's a long story." After that, she looks at the fireball and says the fusing of the materials went really well. Such a result requires extreme temperatures to be achieved. You are indeed talented. The school is really blind with your current performance. It's more than sufficient to enter the 3 big organizations. After listening to her, he asks her sister Qiang. Everyone has always called the city guard and the investigation team as the 3 big organizations, so what's the 3rd organization? Then, while making the dagger, she replies Pearl City is indeed a part of this 3rd organization. However, what the organization is called, what it does, no one knows. After that, she asks him, "Little brother Zhang Ping, weren't you trying to buy equipment previously? If you don't mind, you can take this." After that, while looking at the dagger that she gave him, he asks her, "This is such a good dagger, isn't it expensive?" Then she replies, based on the market rate of the materials, it will cost around $100,000. After listening to her, he thinks $100,000 equals 3 years of salary. After that, he asks her, "Can someone like me, who only has a monthly salary of $3,000, even keep this?" Then she laughs and replies, "Take it as a reward for your improvement." After that, while leaving, she tells him that I still have a mission, I will go first. And asks him but will you really be okay if you don't go back to school? Then he replies, "Don't worry, I have already completed the graduation procedures in advance." After listening to him, she says, "All right, take care of the old man. He's a bit unstable right now, so don't let him open for business." Then he thinks although this blacksmith shop wasn't targeted by the celestial foxes because it isn't open for business. But with the huge commotion that occurred just now, it might attract their attention. Since it's nighttime now, I will use the Nightwalker skill to check the surroundings. Meanwhile, later, while going in a night walk, he sees a girl on a swing which is actually a celestial fox. And while seeing her, he thinks it's my first time seeing celestial fox with such a low level. Its level is the same as mine. I am also boosted by equipment, so I should be able to win. Although the city guard within the city has completely fallen, the investigation team outside the city shouldn't be affected. If I hand over the corpse of a celestial fox to them, I might be able to attract the attention of higher management. After that, suddenly a mysterious entity asks him from behind, "Are you planning to attack a kid?" and tells him that don't move, or else I will kill you. Who is that mysterious entity? He will gonna kill Zhang Ping? What will gonna happen next to find out? Just do like, share, subscribe, and comment down if you want the part 2 as soon as possible.